After speaking with hundreds of physicians, I noticed something really strange. The doctors with the biggest net worth all share 7 very specific habits. And surprisingly, these habits have nothing to do with how much they earn. I've seen surgeons making $500,000 a year who are practically broke. Meanwhile, family doctors making half that amount are multimillionaires. They're playing an entirely different game. So what exactly are these 7 wealth building habits? Most of us go to a job and feel good about ourselves, but the truth is, even if you have a good income, relying on that one source of income is risky. Even in healthcare, income is not as safe as you might think. You could lose a job, face declining reimbursements, or a drop in patient volume. That's why it's so important to create multiple streams of income. The wealthiest doctors are always looking for opportunities to develop businesses or expand their current practice. So don't pigeonhole yourself into one role. Think broadly, creatively, and learn new ideas and strategies. Create a business or consulting gig or invest in cash flowing assets. It all adds to the pie. Diversification provides a buffer when there's a loss of income in any one area. Furthermore, when you're just focused on one job, one income, you mentally limit yourself. You start to believe that that's all you can do. And when things aren't going well in that job, you start to feel trapped and burned out, which is another risk to your income. Now, this next behavior might surprise you. Your neighbor driving that beat up Honda might just be the millionaire next door. As Dan Martell put it, wealth isn't a number, it's a ratio between what you spend and what you earn. The smaller the ratio, the wealthier you are. If you're spending 30% of your income, you're way wealthier than someone spending 50 to 80% of their income. That's why wealthy doctors avoid lifestyle inflation. When their incomes rise, they don't rush to upgrade their cars and houses. They maintain their lifestyle and direct that extra cash into investments. That keeps them out of debt and accelerates their wealth building. Stanley and Danko, authors of Millionaire Next Door, researched thousands of millionaires and found that most live well below their means in middle-class neighborhoods. The truth is that if building your net worth is your goal, you can't be worried about what other people think. Now, living frugally and saving is always good, but that's not enough to build real wealth. If you really want to grow wealth exponentially, this next thing is the game changer. Wealthy doctors are very disciplined about contributing to their investment accounts. They consistently save and invest over 20% of their income no matter what. In fact, the wealthy generally focus more on investing rather than increasing their income. Why? Because investing creates passive income through what Einstein himself called the 8th wonder of the world, or compounding. Investing generates returns or makes you money with no additional effort or time. How does it do that? Well, when you purchase a stock, you're investing in that company. And as that company's value grows, your stock value grows. And you don't have to add any more money. Just hold on to that stock and let compounding work its magic. For instance, if you were lucky enough to bet on Nvidia 20 years ago, a $1,000 investment would now be worth over $1 million. Saving and investing are foundations of wealth building. Make it a priority to deposit a portion of your income to your investment accounts every pay period and automate that so you're not tempted to spend that extra cash. Wealth building is a long-term game, and that takes us to the next smart habit: playing for the long haul. Don't chase short-term gratification. Stay level-headed, patient, and strategic. Charlie Munger emphasized the big money is not made in buying or selling, but in the waiting. This graph from Investopedia shows how patience and investing for the long term can pay off. Despite several recessions, sell-offs, and geopolitical crises, $100 invested in the S&P in 1928 would be worth almost $1 million today. Now, you might be thinking that's an awfully long time, and it is, but if you invest more and do it consistently, you can get there faster. That comes to our next point: know what you want and create a plan. If you decide you want $2 million by age 60, you can work backwards and decide how much you need to save and invest and at what rate. That clarity becomes a roadmap. If you know where you're going, you don't make the wrong turn. You do only what's required to achieve that goal. That focus not only cuts out distractions, it draws out opportunities that align with your goals. Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, wrote, "The dominating thoughts which we hold in our mind act like magnets, drawing to us all the necessary components to make our goals a reality. Clear goals shape thoughts, and thoughts shape reality." If you want to figure out where you stand in your retirement goals, check out this calculator, Ballpark Estimator, on investor.gov. This tool takes you to this other site, the FINRA website, and this tool takes into account taxes and inflation. If you want to also add in your Social Security payments, you can go to ssa.gov and calculate that first. Now, we've discussed how to build wealth, but we have to keep in mind the real goal. That is our own happiness and well-being, and that comes from prioritizing yourself and your time. Prioritizing yourself starts with your health. What good is a strong bank balance if your body and mind are weak? Make sure to eat right, exercise, and make time for solitude and meditation. Set strong boundaries and protect your space. And next, learn to value time over money. That means outsourcing things by hiring help or experts to do the the things you don't like to do or aren't that good at, and that helps you free up your time and energy for the things that are important to you. It also means to choose carefully how you will spend your time. Surround yourself with like-minded, positive people. And also look at your expenses. Are you purchasing value? Of course, you should spend a little on things that you want, but remember, experiences are more valuable than possessions. So splurge more on a vacation to build memories rather than buying a fancy watch. And when you do buy material things, look for quality and purchase items that will last and provide value. Don't chase a quick dopamine hit shopping late night on TikTok or Amazon. And if you do find yourself doing that, ask yourself where that need for a dopamine hit comes from. What's the underlying discontent? Mental health and fitness are often overlooked. Make sure that you create practices that support optimism. Tom Corley in his Rich Habits study found that most millionaires describe themselves as optimists with a deep belief that anything is possible. So don't be afraid of failure. See setbacks as feedback and not defeat. Each challenge is a chance to redefine your strategy and move forward. This positive mindset will keep you focused on growth and not fear. We can look at many examples throughout history. For instance, Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks, he was a retail sales and marketing manager for a coffee distributor. He became obsessed with cafes in Italy and committed himself to making Starbucks a national brand like it is today. But Starbucks incurred losses for 3 straight years and more than $1 million in 1989 alone. But Schultz never gave up. The key to success is to stay calm and weather the storms with grace and optimism. As Alex Hormozi says, you only lose if you quit. Wealth isn't about luck or even about making the most money. It's about these habits, simple, repeatable actions done consistently over time. The earlier you start, the faster these habits compound, and the sooner you'll find yourself not just rich in money, but rich in freedom and choice. Now, sometimes we're so focused on building wealth, we forget the more important aspects of life. And you can hear my take on that in this next video here. So I hope that was helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.